Guys, I think J-Stalk's got Erudite on his stream right now talking about this.
And Kyla was, I mean, I'm trying to remember, so I'm not 100%, but
Okay, so what happens here?
She would call it therapy.
I thought it was Brittany. Sounded like you were like, yeah, dropping something in a bucket almost. Weird.
Oh, blame other people except turn the mirror on yourself. So I would tell my friend,
I thought it was Brittany.
It's time to face the music. Excuse me. Look at yourself. Okay. Face yourself. Hold yourself 1000% accountable. And then we can talk about what other people have done and make peace with it. Because humans are going to human. It's their journey. Right?
Jesus Christ. I hate her.
Because other people who hurt you healed or forgave you or asked for forgiveness. You heal because you
True,
face
Brian
yourself.
Mind. Very true.
You know what I mean? But no one is innocent in this situation. They're both grown adults who made conscientious decisions. And this is the result of those decisions. Right? And again, I don't know if anything's like finalized. This is all just like DGG, Reddit, and his live show speculation. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is.
There's no Tony in this court, doesn't it? No.
Is.
There's no way she really talks about him for like 40 minutes to start her stream, right?
Jesus Christ.
Only been 15 so far.
Destiny did admit he talked to Kyla.
You can speculate a lot.
Or before.
I guess so.
There's no way Kyla would do that. Well, I think Kyla would be a good friend and have a conversation with him. I don't think she would call it therapy, hopefully. Though they have called live streams in the past therapy, so I think...
I would fucking hope not. Holy shit. Dude, if Erudite is Destiny's therapist, I'm gonna laugh my fucking ass off so bad.
I mean, from a licensed professional who you pay... You
I don't know.
like
I want to know what Kyla did to
contract.
her. I want to know what Kyla did to make Brittany just like take a dagger out and stab her in the back like this repeatedly. I just want to know.
There was a stream with Mr. Girl, Brittany, and I think Kyla was on it too. And I think Kyla was, I mean, I'm trying to remember, so I'm not 100%, but I thought there was a stream like that at some point. And if it was pretty contentious. And Brittany was, I don't know if she was drunk or, I think she said she was high. That was a little wild. Maybe that was it.
Well, they both talked to Merc, or they talked about Erudite's conversation with Merc, but...
Kyla and Brittany are on good terms.
Yeah,
hold on one
Tony...
second. What's that?
Kyla and Brittany are
on good terms from the Aaron News Network.
Oh, well, that's out already.
Hold on, we can hear from the source, apparently.
Oh God.
Hey, Erudite.
Oh, Kyla, what's up?
Hi, can you guys hear me now?
Hey, yo.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi, I was just popping in. I wanted to, you know, see you at the famous Just Extreme was doing.
Just
what did you call him? Just Extreme.
Is it not just? I always just go J-Stalk. I felt that's obvious, isn't it? I don't know.
Well, look, are me and Brittany? Why are you saying Brittany stabbing me in the back? I haven't watched.
Well, so she keeps my understanding of what she's doing here, and I'm inferring things. But what she keeps doing is she keeps saying, "There's no way Destiny had a 5-hour therapy session. It was most likely just with a friend, and I really hope that would be legal." And she keeps hammering the same points that like, oh, I don't know if it was like legal for them to have a 5-hour therapy session. I don't know. Like, it definitely was. It probably wasn't with a professional therapist. Probably with a friend. So she keeps hammering.
It just was. It just was. It just was. I don't even know it. Yeah, it just was.
It would be like a weird thing.
Just was what?
Therapists are allowed to just like decide their hours. It's weird that a therapist would decide to extend.
Was it with a therapist? It wasn't with her then, right?
Yeah, but if they feel like it's needed for whatever situation, therapists
I would
are allowed to
imagine
extend their hours.
Yeah, I would imagine based on what happened here, the most likely scenario to me is like Destiny or Melina probably said like, "Hey, we need you until this is fixed. Like we have a fundamental disagreement, and we just need to stay until it's fixed." And then it just happened to go however long. That seems like it would be
with a therapist.
Yeah. No, but with the therapist, I find it crazy that she's. I feel like
so it doesn't sound like it's Erudite. Okay. Phew. Massive bombshell dodge there. Holy shit.
He's suggesting it's you.
That would be fucking insane. If people actually made excuses for that, I would laugh my ass off so fucking bad.
But the thing I find crazy
she was
about
a little
that
bit at the
is
beginning.
Yeah, the thing I find like particularly crazy about that though is that I believe you were in LA. The Whatever podcast.
Yes, I was.
So like it's
damn. You know people's whereabouts and everything. You're the ultimate
Wait,
know-how. That's impressive. How did you know I was in LA? That's impressive.
I
Wait,
watched the
unless it
whatever
is?
podcast that night on my stream, I
Fair
think.
enough.
oh no.
DGGC's
Yeah, I
all-
was there. And then I went to Dallas actually afterwards. So I didn't get back to Florida until the 3rd at like midnight. So
Yeah. So that was the impression I got, was that it seems like, and so now I'm sitting here and I'm like, why is she like continuing? She just said, now she's implied, she's gone even further now and said like, oh, what did she say about Nick and Kyla? I think she said, I thought she wanted to say that it seemed like Destiny referred to talks with you guys as therapy.
I mean, like,
they were,
we've
heart-to-hearts
had
or something.
chat. Yeah, like we've had heart-to-hearts. Like me, Steven, and Nick, especially, but also Mel, are all just like really close friends. So we've like had chats, obviously.
And also,
I
Mel.
imagine like we might hyperbolically refer to it as like therapy, but it's obviously not actually fucking therapy. In the same way, like if you talk.
Bro, Mr. God is fucking losing his mind right now. Oh my god. Bro. We refer to it as therapy, but it's not therapy. Oh my god, okay.
Talk to like one of your best friends about your
Okay.
marriage or relationship. Is it therapy? No, but it's like helpful and nice, obviously.
Yeah, that's basically how I would see it too.
Yeah, we're just buddies.
All
We're
right.
just buddies.
Yeah, but to me, I was like, because she's said repeatedly that you and her are on good terms, and that was my understanding.
Yeah, we are.
But then it was just weird to me that she keeps, to me, pushing out implications that are pointed.
I guess I'll have to watch it to see.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm a
very
Brittany whisperer.
vague, so it's not like she's attacking you.
They
or
are
anything.
vague. They're like made intentionally vague, but she does this a lot. She does it quite a lot when she wants to make a point. She'll.
I just feel
sort
like
of
it's
couch
never
it.
as like it's not as like, you know how some people will make vague implications and they clearly want you to read into it, and other people are kind of neurodivergent and they make implications but they don't mean for you to read into it. I think Brittany's more the latter. Like she'll make implications but she's not really meaning for people to read into it. She's just trying to say what she thinks. That's how I have understood Brittany.
I completely disagree, but you're welcome to. Like, I don't
Is
really
she
want to argue about it.
neurodivergent?
I totally
That's
disagree.
fair.
Yeah, she is.
That's fair.
She is? Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I've watched I've watched like somewhat decent amount of her content.
Echo.
I'm echoing through you, Kelly, a little bit. We're okay. I've watched like a decent amount of her content, and I find that anytime she's making an implication, anytime she's made an implication that seems like it could be offensive, she will come back and actually say that thing later. Like it was some of the stuff around Destiny and the way he raises his kid. She made like very, very like vague implications, and then she came back and kept getting more and more precise with them.
So I start at the beginning of the stream, catch up fully on what was going on? Yeah, I think so.
So that is my experience with her. I think she knows what she's doing. Again, my impression was
I'd have to read this. Yeah, I'd have to.
Yeah,
watch
you'd
this.
have to watch it. Yeah.
We are on good terms. But one of the things that's kind of refreshing about Brittany is just because you're on good terms doesn't mean that she's not going to be like really honest about how she like thinks and feels about a situation, which I honestly appreciate, but I can understand if that like rubs people.
Yeah, I've described the way she does content where she will, and when she was friends with Destiny, it was fine because
I don't care about this. The Dark Web suit looks gay. I don't really care.
like how
It's
I
gay.
normally react to this is I think this person's like a terrible human being, but I know it's Destiny, so I know he's not, and like I know that like I'm kind of making that up and distorting it in my head. So she like runs through her thought process where she kind of blends her like psychoanalysis of herself, and she'll come back and say, "But I know like in reality, like they're my friend," and so I know that she does that. She'll kind of go with like a negative thought, and then she'll try to wrap back and explain like why she knows, based on some other sort of touchstones that probably isn't true. I've seen her do that a reasonable amount, but yeah, I do not like her as a person. So
Okay, that's fair.
That's the lens.
I really
through which I'm
I like
covering this.
Brittany. I think she's got like her flaws, obviously, but yeah, I like Brittany. Also, I'm like 2.5 drinks deep and I haven't eaten today, so
Oh, no.
take anything I say with like a large grain of salt.
Oh no.
So you
How
might
goes
not like
podcast
Brittany?
stuff?
No. I do like Brittany. It's just like if I psychoanalyze, just treat me like a silly girl right now, okay? It doesn't mean anything.
I mean, when it comes to between you and Brittany, you're better off just talking to her and asking her, I guess, if you're friends and shit, so.
Also, guys, please remember to like, sub, donate if you can. buy a membership, gift memberships, buy a super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Maybe it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, if I feel any sort of way about, I haven't watched this new stream or anything, but if I feel some sort of way, I'll just talk to her about it. And that's rude.
How goes your like podcast stuff? We've been talking about it because we're like curious, like when.
Yeah, I've heard. You know, I've been sick for like 6 weeks, so that's been rough. I slept like 20 hours 2 days ago. Yeah,
do you have mono or something? What happened?
I think I have like a sinus infection, and then I also had like an eye and ear infection that started like midway through November, and then I got better. But then when I went to whatever, coming home, I got like a head cold, and then everything else kind of came back with a vengeance. So I'm past the head cold.
Thank you for the tier 1 membership, Bomber.
Dealing with a sinus infection again. So
airports
6
will
weeks
do
is
that.
really long. Yeah.
yes, exactly. And I did like 6 airports in 5 days because I went to Santa Barbara and then I went to Dallas. So yeah, it was just a lot of airports. So, but it's coming along. It's just nobody wants to be booked over Christmas, which is fair. So I just have to accept a January start, I think.
Yeah. Is there not like anyone in Miami or like not super traveling far who could be like a first person, or is there really just not? It's just
There
like
is, but
nobody.
I'm being picky about the first. I really want the first person. And I'm sure Lycan would probably agree since like he's also working on this with us, but as the producer, but I really want the first person to be somebody who gets us out of the orbit. So there's tons of people that are part of the DGG orbit that I could pull on right away, but I really want to pull us a little bit out of it. And so I'm doing a lot more like cold call emails. And so that's kind of the trouble that I'm running into is messaging people like Niall Ferguson or Thomas Sowell, like people who've probably never heard of Destiny, and trying to get them on the podcast, because I really want to establish from the very beginning that this is going to be something that moves towards Gen Pop. That's like the long-term goal of the podcast.
Okay, so not content creators as much. You want, well, they are content creators, some of them, right? But more
I'm super
like,
down for those.
different.
Yeah, like Lex Friedman.
Yeah.
kind of like
Jesus
an
content,
Christ, this
right?
sounds fucking awful.
Creators, but they're just kind of like more YouTubery, normie.
Yeah. Yes. Normie is
politically-
exactly
normie,
what I
think
want.
is,
Yeah, that's what I want, is Erudite talking to normie people. Fun.
That's the right word.
So
All the
episode
Miami
2,
people are like red pilly and
yeah,
stuff.
they're
It's just
super
like,
online.
"Ugh."
Yeah, exactly. So I want episode 1 to be super normie and episode like 3 to be more of like an internet person. Because I want to bridge the internet and normie land. But I think if we start out in internet land, it'll kind of set a bit of a pace that I don't want us going towards. So maybe I'm being persnickety, but
So, Kelly Jane.
I don't know.
No, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I'm kind of done with like how easy it is to travel in America, and like what other states near to where Miami is it like easy to travel to versus like where is like further away that would maybe have people at it? I'm just thinking because I know
airport
like
is pretty
people are
simple.
bitchy about like I need my travel blade, I need my hotel blade, blah 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 blah. So
Yeah.
it's just like
That's another piece is everyone wants their accommodations covered, which is fair. But then I need to be picking people who's like one person agreed to come on like the first week of January, but their flight was like $8,000, and I was like, well, I can't do that.
Are they?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. They'll be on stream. They'll be on stream sometime. So when they're announced and everything, then I'll be like, that was me. But yeah, it's I can't drop $8,000 for the first episode.
in
That's
fucking
ridiculous.
Zimbabwe? What?
Yeah, basically.
$8,000. What is this?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Well, they wanted like first class flights and stuff. So yeah, it's just expensive.
Jesus.
Is it Boris Johnson?
It is not. God, I wish Boris Johnson had been like, yeah, I want to come on Destiny's podcast. That would be awesome.
That was my first thought for some reason, because it feels like if it's 8K, even if it's first class, that. Although I guess I have no metric for this. It feels like that couldn't be in
Well, it would never be. Okay.
the U.S. It feels like you'd have to fly over the.
It's not US.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Some
definitely ocean
DGD
flights.
delusion, I think. Destiny's more important
And
than
they
he
wanted
is.
to be paid as a speaker. So there's just like a lot of costs for that person. I was like, we can't do this. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, like, because geographically, I don't know. Because where is what is Florida even next to? I don't fucking know.
Nothing. But Miami
Nothing.
International is like a hub.
It's
It's a really good airport. It's just like if you're flying across the ocean, it's just going to be expensive no matter what you do.
After all those weeks of like fucking maps, I have learned nothing about America. I still don't know where everything is. And there's nothing.
You know, who'd be fun to get on would be Finkelstein. I doubt he would ever agree to come on, but that would be so fun.
After that email exchange.
Yeah.
You know what? Everyone bullies me for how bad my communication is, but that they were both worse than me. Both worse than I've ever been. So you know what? Fuck them.
You know what? I suspect that somebody from like the DGD universe also emailed him and just like muddied up all of the communications. That's what I think happened.
Yeah, maybe. It's just like
That's so cap.
It's like he's like an old boomer and easily confused by the looks of it. And Destiny's just like, I respond in like 1 to 2 business days. And I don't give a fuck. So it's like, okay.
I feel like I don't know if it has to be Ninu or maybe you, Erudite, but it feels like there should be some separation there where like he gets professional emails, not to the like contact email, right? Or his personal email. Yeah. I understand that he probably wants to be a part of the communications, but it does feel like sometimes it would be helpful if there was just like a quick turnaround, right? So that Finkelstein email could come in and somebody could like...
He doesn't give a shit about being part of it at all. He's
explicitly
told me, like, just tell me when we're
Oh.
booked with people. I don't care.
For Bridges, sure. I'm saying like he needs to pay somebody for like his personal professional stuff too. Like somebody needs to...
Because some people are
sure
just very like finicky, and it's better to have someone that's like overly polite to just deal with people that are a bit odd and eccentric, right? Because it's not the point of emailing people is not to have an argument over who was the like worst at communicating.
I love how they all tiptoe around saying Destiny's autistic and terrible at communicating with people.
The point is to try and get that person to actually turn up.
Thank you for the
You know what he should do? He should get a
$2
chat,
Thank you.
like a chat GPT,
The super
and train
sticker.
it on like never split the difference negotiation, and then just get that to write all of his emails for him.
You know, honestly, Kyla, like that's a good idea as far as like the like communication. I should probably manage that. Just that way, it's like my job to be on top of that email and get those immediate replies.
Well, it would just
And I
be,
have the
I think
time
all you
for that.
need is to like filter them into like, hey, is this a professional request or is this like scheduling? If his scheduling could go somewhere else, I feel like that would be helpful. Like,
yeah, and it's like the difference between a suggested time and a confirmed time.
BC74SJ super chatted $1.99.
These are the kind of basic things that are just getting missed.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you, Erudite, have you heard of like Calendly or like some of the calendar scheduling apps that are out there?
Mm-hmm. I've heard of some of them, but feel free to tell me more.
No, I was just curious. It's just like when you're trying to book stuff, they just make things insanely easy. Like where you basically give somebody a calendar to book on and you can set a bunch of rules for how they book. I think it was maybe the Bridges podcast stuff. When you're trying, I think you were trying to book maybe, it was
interviews.
something, it seemed like it applied to
It was interviews. It was
Yeah,
nightmarish booking the interviews. Yeah. I definitely was like, I should have done this through an app. This was awful.
Yeah, if you just,
Are you
if
going to
you're
have like
ever
a
doing
set
that,
day,
really
or is it
good.
just like a certain amount a month?
I want it to be Fridays, and I want to do 3 Fridays every month so that he can travel for
I
like.
don't know if I can stand listening to this Bridges talk, to be honest. We'll just we'll speed through this. All right.
Like 1 Friday every month, but we'll see. I think for the first few, I'm assuming Lycan's as flexible as I am. I'm basically like, if David Packman says that he'll come
I
on,
believe the guy pretending to be Darius talking to food shops. Okay, we'll watch that.
I'm no longer in a safe space.
No, you're not.
Always the one that becomes
I'm
weird
with
in
you.
these situations.
What happened here?
Right, thank you. I appreciate it. What stars doing?
Asian Sex Act. Gotcha. Before this issue,
It's
deciding
the camera.
I think the big important thing, social problem.
Playing.
Cool. We got double A, and then we're gonna get another guy named Eduardo.
Okay.
All right. We want to debate about. Let's go back to the non-aggression principle. You agree with
Oh
the
my
non-aggression?
And cap.
Oh, these are ANCAPs.
Yeah.
Not feel bad. You should have been
It's been going.
good. Yep. No, I just hope for some entertainment.
Well.
Mood.
You fuckers ruined this.
No, these are just ANCAP guys.
I'll fucking do any day he wants. I don't give a shit. Yeah, but once we get established, I'd like to do Fridays because then booking like accommodations and stuff is way easier. People can commit to longer times and stuff, and I'd like it to be a 4-hour panel. So, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's true. Especially for people that might have like more normie jobs, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And the panelists, a lot of the panelists that I've greenlit are like working professionals, so they need reasonable hours for sure.
That makes sense. Did like who was the person that ghosted you? Fuck, I forgot his name.
Lex?
Yes. He goes, the Reddit were against you there, and I don't think it was on purpose, but you made a post saying, oh, hey, this guy's, he's being a bit flaky. We really need to like get on him and be like encourage him to come on. And then immediately, like a few hours later, they're like making a post about how he's anti-Semitic now because he supported Elon Musk and something stupid.
I know,
like,
I saw that post. I was like, guys,
why now?
I gotta be
I was
honest.
just like, Jesus.
If Lex could break the Bridges cherry, that would be perfect. I don't know if he's still on his break, but he said he was going on a break for like a month or two. So we'll have to see. I'm going to keep bugging him because I think he's literally perfect for the first episode. Yeah.
I wasn't sure who he was, but I looked up the YouTube videos and then I remember seeing the clips of him doing the videos with other people. And I was like, oh yeah, that guy. Okay. Yeah, he's kind of cool.
Yeah, he's cool. I like him.
Who else is like that guy? Who else?
Andrew Huberman.
Height. That is.
Fuck, I don't know any of these people.
Height
I don't know any of these people.
Yeah,
What's wrong with me?
I've been talking to Height since like last year, and he's down. He just has to finish his book. He won't take anything until he fully releases. Jonathan Height.
Not familiar.
It's a author and I don't know what his I can't remember what his exact.
He's a social psychologist.
Yeah. So he's just got a couple really good books on politics. His new stuff coming out on tech and how it affects like children and teenagers.
Oh, so good.
Really good, but
it's so good. Have you been watching? Do you read his Substack at all?
I haven't read I've read like the first 3 articles from after. Is it?
Just got what we're going over now. We're watching. J-Stalk has Erudite on. They were talking about the Destiny stuff, and now Bridges, which kind of boring, but we move. We're powering through it.
After Babel, right? Because that's
After Babel.
Before. So
it's so good.
The first 3 posts, but I haven't read too much since then. A lot of it.
Every time he posts.
Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say every time he posts, I get mad because I know that he's like not working on his book. And he won't do a tour until he's done his book. And I'm like, stop.
Wait, who is this? Sorry,
Jonathan Height.
Okay, yeah.
H-I-I-D-T. Height. Sorry.
His books are really good. I just the first few articles I read, I just knew they were sort of copy pasted from coddling. Like he had all those stats in there, but it was more just that it's like 2 or 3 years later because I think his general idea in coddling was like, hey, most people are still telling you that these stats are going to go down, and it's just like an aberration. And in 2 or 3 years that they haven't gone down, like, well, no, things are fucked.
They're going up. Yeah, they're going way up.
Everything's fucked. So
he's got that. Have you followed? So he's got the coddling live document where researchers can update their research in basically studying specifically mental health with social media. And if you look at like his research, that's it.
Okay. How much more is this? Did you want to go back slightly because I think we just went past
Okay, we'll watch this.
the bit where she mentions Kylo, right?
This is
go
hard.
back like a minute.
No matter if it's toxic or not.
I can't remember how far it is.
Toxic like lifestyle and bumps. You have to take 1,000%.
Yeah, it wasn't that far.
It's pretty far back.
It's what you put into it. You can blame people all you want.
It was a little bit back.
What's she been rambling about in the last few minutes?
If you are in something that's unhealthy and shitty, you're absolutely playing role. You have to.
It includes like karma.
Oh, my computer went off. I was restarting and like that might be why.
Baseball says I don't like that he leverages his audience to attack people he has conflicts with under the excuse he's protecting his reputation. Whoops, it's because it's what he's used to.
Oh, my computer's being a bitch.
It's very normal in a toxic bubble, right? It's just so normal to do that, and that's why it is what it is. Either you're going to be introspective and own up to it, or you're just going to continue the cycle of toxicity. It's really not even that deep, but it is really that sad, and that's the bummer, right?
Level 1 what?
That's what's so sad about it, you know?
Wait, are you unfamiliar with Brittany's system, Kelly? The levels?
I don't think I've ever listened to it enough to understand what it means. I remember hearing about bubbles as well, but I don't pay attention.
Okay. It's just an insult. Calling her a
I
level.
don't know what it means.
Yeah, it's just an insult.
It's just disappointing.
Kelly, shut the hell up challenge. It was silence, bro. Oh wait, shit, I was watching the stream. My bad. Okay, I'll shut up now.
Okay.
My bad. I'm sorry. I didn't know it started.
Kelly didn't know, guys. Just chill.
I didn't know. I'm sorry. I'm retarded.
That's fine.
Jesus Christ.
Didn't Destiny reference? I feel like I have heard him reference talking to friends as like, I don't know. You know, I can only speculate on what I've recently heard. You know. But anyway, toxic is toxic, right? Like it is what it is.
But just that was one of the later points earlier. She's talking about how she did spend like 5 minutes talking about how she doesn't believe it was a real session and how she thinks it was just with a friend.
So disappointing, you know.
Yeah, she's a big fan, Tony. She watches a lot of the Destiny
I love your
stream.
earrings. Are they pearls? Thank you so much. Actually, my mother-in-law had this set. It's probably ancient. It's probably from the 80s. These are clip-on earrings. How dated and gorgeous is that? But they're just like little faux earrings. They're not like real or anything. But yeah, they're like little faux pearls, like a little necklace. I love it so much. She's so sweet.
Brittany, please.
Mr. Girl in Destiny 5-hour hug out. You know? 5-hour therapy session knowing he recently diagnosed with ADHD? Hell no. Look at you. Oh man, that'd be pretty impressive with someone.
Oh, this is painful.
It was probably
this is real painful.
It's been a conversation, right? Like it probably was just a conversation. If it was real therapy, like legal therapy, that's amazing. That's really unique. You know, but maybe. Heather says his ego is so bruised. I think it's crazy to say Melina's getting abused and mindfucked just because she doesn't want to be with him anymore. Well, I think he's also trying to blame her a little bit, but I don't know exactly, right? about like, oh, she hasn't been perfect. Well, nobody ever said Melina was perfect. She's dating you, obviously. That's why I said she's texting today. She's not the prize. She's dating Destiny.
Brittany spitting? She's kind of
For
spitting.
2 months just to keep dating him. It wasn't even because they were really sure about each other. And then when I'm in their home, he's willing to admit that he might choose Lav and Mr. Girl over her, and then he brings Lav back into his life, which I call.
Can you explain what that means, Erudite? Because we do not know what that means. What does that mean?
I wasn't privy to this conversation. I have no idea.
Wait, are you talking about the personal one, Kelly? About selecting
the
them?
thing about
no, like picking Mr. Girl and Lav over. Like,
Oh, thank you for the raid, Chud. Thank you. Welcome, Chud chatters. We're watching Erudite on JStalk stream right now, talking about Destiny's divorce and Brittany Simon's commentary on it. And there's a few people in the call. Kelly Jean, Lycan, Erudite, and JStalk. So that's where we're at right now.
well, what is this?
Yeah,
Pick it.
so
What?
that's
Who? When?
almost certainly in reference to when Destiny was talking about, like, I think him and Melina had a conversation when Brittany was there, and it was something like, I think Melina said something like, oh, if you like had to choose, what if I was going to leave because of these crazy people? And I think Destiny's, like, half jokingly, I don't know how jokingly, but was like, well, there's the door, right? It could have been a complete
So it was a
joke.
joke.
I think a little bit it was like, if you want me to
half
change
joke.
everything about my life, then like there's the door. I think that's kind of
It's just such cat that it was just a total joke. He was obviously, expressing a genuine sentiment of, I'm not gonna change for you. Get out if you don't like it. That was the point.
what he was trying to say, while also joking with it a little bit. It wasn't about them specifically. It was about, like, if you want me to change what I do with my life like that badly, then you're not really interested in. I think that's more what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
But of course, yeah, Brittany framed it that way, I guess.
Right? And then Melina got upset about it, which of course, why wouldn't she? It's not good. This is not good, right? It's just not good. But it is what it is. It's humans are gonna human, right? Buy your merch.
Ugh.
It is what it is. He'll be twice.
Humans gonna human. It is what it
It
is.
would be a shame to end up like this.
It
They
is
didn't
what
have
it is.
to.
Speaking of fans of the
I
stream,
don't think so. And I told Melina this. I really feel like they
post
are
from
so
No More Nice
they are
Mr. Girl.
compatible in many ways outside of the toxicity.
Read that after
But
this.
at the same
apparently.
time, like they're just too much. They don't know themselves enough to.
Substantial Doubt says that was on stream with Abba and Brittany IRL. Destiny said he wouldn't be with a partner that gives him that kind of ultimatum. Yeah, it's pretty much what I thought.
Really make the decision. You know what I mean? What would you say to a friend
Okay,
going through a situation
let's
like
get
this?
to
I would
the
say,
good
stop
stuff here.
dating,
Yeah.
Go to a therapist and figure out your philosophy on life. You know what I mean? Figure out what are your values. Figure out what you want from life. Oh my god, I'm sitting over here. But figure out like who you are. This is hard. No
I just want to hear Erudite talk about the divorce. That's all I want right now. Okay, that is going to give me the hit that I need.
So you can't. You have to start with learning not to blame other people, except turn the mirror on yourself. So I would tell my friend, it is time to face the music. Excuse me. Look at yourself. Okay. Face yourself. Hold yourself 1000% accountable, and then we can talk about
Just got in as Brittany dancing on Destiny's marriage. Yes, that is what's happening, and shitting on Erudite a bit as well.
what other people have done and make peace with it. Because humans are going to human. It's their journey, right? You don't heal because other people who hurt you healed or forgave you or asked for forgiveness. You heal because you face yourself. You know what I mean? But no one is innocent in this situation. They're both grown adults who made conscientious decisions, and this is the result of those decisions, right? And again, I don't know if anything's like finalized. This is all just like DDG, Reddit, and his live show speculation. But it is what it is.
Does she ever take her own advice?
That's right.
Difficult to say.
It is what it is.
I thought I had heard this before. I was about to judge her for saying the same things over and over again, but I think we rewound.
Oh, yeah, we did rewind a little bit.
Yeah, we did.
Destiny did admit he talked to Kyla and Nick recently or before. There's no way Kyla would do that. Well, I think Kyla would be a good friend and have a conversation with him. I don't think she would call it therapy, hopefully. Though they have called live streams in the past therapy, so I think people are really misusing that word. When I say therapy, I mean from a licensed professional who you pay and you have a like
I understand
Okay,
your friends, Kyla. You probably don't want to comment that much, but it's just like she keeps pushing it in that direction. It's
So yeah, it does seem like Destiny did speak to an actual therapist, and it's not Erudite acting as a therapist here. So that's at least that's something.
weird.
I don't think it's actually that weird. She's basically what I'm hearing her say is basically like, yeah, I think like Kyla's a good friend, and she would talk to Steven, which is true. I would talk to Steven about his life. And if we call it therapy, when she's saying like misusing this word, we would call it memeing and using that word, right? Like Steven will call it therapy when we talk like on stream or something. But obviously neither him nor I actually think it's therapy. Obviously recognize that when he goes to a therapist that it's like
Yeah, Mr. Girl has got to be just absolutely rolling around right now in fucking joy, bro. Like, well, rolling his grave, maybe even you could say, given he's kind of fucking gone. But Erudite saying that they sometimes refer to it as therapy, it just comes off so bad. I'm sure there's not actually anything wrong with it. But Erudite saying that just comes off so fucking badly.
therapy. And I think she's realizing that distinction. I don't think in any way she's implying that I'm trying to like, I don't think she's Mr. Girling me, for example.
No. I don't think she's trying to imply you're giving therapy. I think she's trying to imply that the therapist was you. That's what I'm saying.
I think she's shocked to hear. So she's used to DBT. DBT is really, really structured in its therapy, in the way that it does therapy. So really boundaried on the time that it gives. It's very atypical for a therapist to give several hours to like a couple, but a therapist can choose to do that. And like the therapist that they have, I help them find like their therapist is fucking amazing. She's awesome. And for whatever reason, she felt like, yes, I want
Well, Erudite and Nick have already admitted to trying an open marriage twice, I believe. So
to give like this amount of time. I also don't know if it was 5 hours. That might be like a somewhat hyperbolic
Could be
like,
hyperbolic.
number that
And
he's
it could
saying.
just be like an extension of like she might not have had other appointments booked or something, and she could have just let them spill over if they wanted to keep going.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't think it's that sussy. It is uncommon for a therapist to even give 3 hours, but my understanding is that like they had agreed to that. Like there's nothing like spooky going on here. Their therapist was just willing to make time for them, which is atypical, especially for Brittany coming from DBT, who pretty strictly would probably never give their therapist extra time because of what borderline is like. So that's probably in part somewhat biasing what Brittany's thinking about when it comes to therapy.
What types of therapy is the therapist like good at? So you said they don't do DBT because she's used to, or maybe they do as well.
Sorry, which therapist?
The one that you suggested for Destiny and Melina. What are they?
Oh, but no, Erudite did suggest the therapist. Okay, so Sunday's probably. This is Sunday's time to shine. All right, this isn't a Mr. Girl moment. This is a Sunday moment.
I'm going to plead the fifth and say I'm not going to go into any details about like who I recommended to them, other than saying she's awesome.
Oh, would they be able to track it down from saying what kind of therapy
Or
they
not
do?
even just that,
Maybe.
but you're like, if
They
you're
could.
explaining what her specialties are, you could be explaining issues they're having.
Oh, well, I didn't mean it like that. I meant
know,
like the
I know.
brand of therapy,
okay.
right?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like CBT or DBT or I did EMDR and I like that. And I'm guessing there's like a bunch of other types I've never even heard
Most
of.
therapists call themselves.
This is a panel to debunk Brittany Simon. Yeah, basically. I mean, they've been just going through. They've had like Kelly, like, and Erudite's just joined, but they've just been going through like all different reactions to Destiny's divorce, like Sneako's reaction and shit like that. So this is Brittany Simon's one.
Like interdisciplinary therapists. Like most therapists are going to pull from a bunch of styles. Only DBT therapists are unique in that they typically only do DBT, but that's because DBT is for very specific mental health conditions. Most therapists will be like, yeah, I do CBT and DBT and like couples therapy and Gottmans and blah, 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 blah. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I only meant that. I wasn't trying to dig at like,
Yeah.
I don't want
No,
these
you're good.
weirdos
I
to like
understand.
find their therapist. That would be bad.
I understand. Yeah, your question
Yeah.
wasn't digging, but it unfortunately would reveal information I don't want to give because it's not
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
All right, hit
But
play.
like a legalized contract, you sign paperwork, you like pay into your insurance or not your insurance. Like therapy to me means something very specific. Maybe in their bubble it means talking to a friend, but your friends are not your therapists. So I don't want to assume Kyla would do that. I mean, hopefully not. I think she would know that that'd be very bad business practice, right? I doubt she would do that, but it's possible that they had a conversation
No,
and
hold on.
Destiny's the one framing it.
If this
as
goes out,
therapy.
it might pause here. I
There's
have
a
to switch my
possibility
headphones really
that
quickly.
he's misframing it. But I hope I don't know if Canada's different, but I hope Kyla wouldn't do that, right? I don't think so. So I don't know.
I
'Cause,
didn't.
You know? I'd bet money the therapist was Kyla. Gosh, I hope not.
Hello?
Well, again, like she might
Hello?
be framing it.
Oh, no.
Got quiet for a second.
Yeah, I was switching my Bluetooth headphones over to ones that are charged, so it might have.
I probably wouldn't have bet that Kyla was a therapist, but I certainly, you know, there was a little bit of me that thought it might be the case, but you know, it's not, which is good, because that'd be fucking insane.
It this
Something
way,
might happen with
because
the
that,
audio real
in my mind would threaten her job in some way, right? Because like I can't imagine that'd be appropriate, right? But I don't know. You know what I mean? Melina was probably looking for an out. I think they were both looking for an out. Like that's the problem. I think they were both like Steven has so much like abandonment issues that he's always just like waiting for her to drop. Remember when he did that whole manifesto after he burned the bridge with me, and he made that whole manifesto about like who and how the friendships would end. It's like he's got abandonment issues. He pre-abandons people. You know what I mean?
Did he actually do like some kind of manifesto on Brittany? I don't recall this.
I don't remember either. He was really mad, like intensely, because he was like disappointed too. And I think he get like more upset when you like don't expect it. But I don't think there was any manifesto, was there?
Yeah, maybe
I don't remember this either.
He pre-abandons people, you know? Which is very normal. Like his childhood was awful. I really feel for him in that way. What a horrible childhood, you know what I mean?
Who just why? The fuck?
Which I mean, why?
Yeah,
Has she never heard anything about Destiny's childhood? It sounds fucking horrible. All the shit about his living with his grandma while she adopted new dogs and killed them and was like pissing in the night in the middle of the hallway and bro, like it's just insane. Like Sasha's saying, 200 views. Guys, now's a great time for me to chill. Okay, please like, sub, donate if you can. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I don't really get why. Just why, but oh well. Human's gonna human, Ellie. That's the credo.
I feel like he really likes his parents a lot. I mean, nobody's childhood is perfect, right? Maybe, but I didn't think it was this bad. Weird.
You can like your parents and have like childhood trauma though, right?
You married a man younger than Destiny and Melina? No, I didn't. We made it a
Like
year
the
ago.
stream,
And
like
not
the
that
stream.
Sound like the actual childhood is
It
terrible.
was beautiful and the best decision.
Ah.
And not that you married a man.
I was just double clicked. What were you guys saying?
Well, she made it sound like his childhood was terrible, and Erudite said you can have good parents and still have trauma, and I like, yeah, I agree with that. But like, his when you say someone's childhood is terrible,
He didn't live with his parents for a lot of his childhood, though.
Like his childhood was rough. His childhood
Yeah,
was super
it's, like, a
rough.
little not ideal.
who was he living with? It wasn't his parents. His grandparents.
His grandparents for a fair bit.
I like living with my grandparents, bro. It was a chill. They spoil you. It's nice.
Yeah, but there's something sad going on that your grandparents have to be raising you instead of your parents.
Yeah.
Especially like the precursor leading up to before you move in with your grandparents. I imagine like, I don't know your situation obviously, but oftentimes it's something.
My
not so
mom's
good.
ex-partner was like abusive to her, like in the strangling variety.
Jesus Christ.
But, he wasn't my dad, but he was two of my siblings' dad, so it was a weird situation.
Yeah, and I hate that like the word trauma is so overused, but that would be like part of something where I'd say like your childhood's kind of fucked up, so you like are a little bit fucked up, but you're mostly functional. Like that's the problem with childhood stuff. He's like, you're probably going to be mostly functional, but there's going to be like a couple of things that are like pretty dysfunctional in very specific areas, oftentimes interpersonally.
But I wouldn't say my childhood was terrible or bad, like the way that she says it, because that kind of suggests like all of it was bad, when it was just like a small bit of it was very bad. But maybe his situation is way different. I don't know. When someone says like, "Oh, their childhood was terrible," I feel like that has to be like a chronic thing where like most of it is bad. But maybe I'm just dumb. I don't know the way that I interpret the way that people say things.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm giving Brittany the benefit of the doubt, but I'm sure she would acknowledge like the nuance of you can have like bad elements within your childhood that fuck you up, and also like have a mostly positive childhood. You know.
Okay, we're gonna be good faith to Brittany. All right, cool.
I'm going to be at least. You don't have to, but I'll fight you.
I hate her, but I just kind of slightly okay, yeah. I feel like she's very evolved and advanced, and I'm slightly wary because I feel like she knows what she's doing most of the time.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Married a man
But
quicker than Destiny and
we'll
Melina?
see.
No, I didn't.
Hold on, I missed what she said there.
You married a man quicker than Destiny and Melina? No, I didn't. We waited a year, bro. And not that it would have mattered, by the way, because we involved our families and it was beautiful. And the
How long did Destiny and Melina wait? Was it not longer than a year? I don't know.
Didn't they get engaged though, like after a month or something, like 3 months?
Isn't the comment just you married a man faster than Destiny and Melina? Did Destiny and Melina date for like 4 years?
I can't remember their timeline. I think
mean,
it was
or 3
pretty
years or
brief
something?
before they got married. I think it was pretty brief, but I can't remember exactly.
No,
but like
they
they
got
didn't
married
take
in
their
Miami,
marriage
I
seriously.
thought.
Yeah, they did like a court marriage or whatever.
But like 3 years after they met, or 4 years after they met, or something.
I think so. Yeah, you might be right about that. I can't remember their time.
Okay, yeah, it's I like just I also haven't been here that long, so
I'll assume you're right.
a lot of people in my chat are saying, yeah, just objectively, Brittany was way faster at a year.
She was much faster. She also dated super differently though.
We got married after a year, so we absolutely waited 3 times longer than Destiny and Melina did.
I don't know what she's saying.
Huh?
She's probably just
And
incorrect.
we didn't get married to keep dating.
Oh, look at Lanius coming through with the dono, the super chat. Is this going to play a TTS? Let's see. Give it a moment. Yeah, I'll just read it. I think it's cut me off though. Here is 69-0 for the grind, brother. Brittany Simon is the Antichrist. Her incessant rants about bubbles are the soyest gobbledygook. Peace out. Thank you very much. Look at Lanius with $6.90.
We got married to spend life together. Don't even try to play that game and compare our relationship. Don't even fucking
I don't know,
try
like
that,
maybe
bro.
she might think that they got married, or maybe there's some reference to like getting married like before COVID or something. Because I thought like they were together before COVID happened.
Yeah.
So like I don't know where this is coming from. Whatever.
I want to say 2018.
They wish.
2019.
Okay, you wish. Bro literally admitted he just married her to keep dating her so she could be in the country, bro. Okay, like I married my man to spend life with him, to grow old with him, to wipe his butt when he turns 80 years old. Well, they're getting divorced because they can't keep it in their pants or communicate. Sure.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Painful.
Don't like that.
Good times.
And again, we'll see what really happens. I wish they would get the right help to be successful as a couple.
By the way,
Okay, but
just
this is
so we're all aware, the right help is taking exactly what advice Brittany gives them, so everybody realizes that.
happening. And it is true what the internet is saying and what Destiny's been hinting. It is what it is, right?
Leggett _ Lanius
there we go.
Junior super chatted
Just a bit delayed.
$6.90. Here is 69-0 for the grind, brother. Brittany Simon is the Antichrist. Her incessant rants about bubbles are the soyest gobbledygook. Peace out.
Thank you. And also $4.20 from Anonymous to my fellow weeb. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Is Wolfgang still in the chat?
Do you think
I
Destiny
haven't
sees
seen him
himself
in
as a
chat.
victim?
I haven't seen him in chat. I don't know. He might be watching.
Oh,
this.
never mind. It's Kyla's dog.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I just heard the squeaky, and he has a bird that makes the same noise.
I can get rid of her squeaky.
No, it's fine.
I mean, I saw a stream where he was like vague posting, and he was saying, you know, people always think like, oh, I'm the bad guy, but they don't think about how people in my life have hurt me or they're doing similar things. Like he basically is gonna blame, right? Because he can't take accountability. It's like his biggest flaw. It's why you burn the bridge with me.
Sure. Holy shit.
I'm happy to be your friend, but like I barely know you, bro. And
she's actually kind of spitting. She's kind of spitting.
the little time I've known you, all you've told me is how bad of a person you are behind closed doors. Cool. And in public, right? Like all I know about him is like he is nice. He was a great Miami host. I mean, you know, he paid for dinner once. That was really
she's gonna mention it, but she already like half mentioned it, but just so I look like I pre-watched this, she's gonna be really mad again that she wanted to have a one-on-one dinner with Destiny, and he said like, no, why would we do that?
Well, to be clear, what he said was, sure, if you want to, or something like that.
Yeah, sure, if you want to. Yeah, exactly.
And she was like, okay, well, never mind.
In her head completely that like that little sort of, and I even understand what she's saying, that like it sort of is like, I don't really need you, but if you need that, then I can see how she would like read that. But even then, it's like that has been seared into her mind ever since. It's crazy.
No, twice. That was really lovely. He was very fun to hang out with, but he wasn't present. He he wasn't trying to be closer as a friend. So it felt very work related, which is good. Like that was fine. Melina and I spent time together. Ab and I
To be
spent
fair
time
to him,
together.
like he's acknowledged this is an issue and that his Vyvanse has significantly helped with.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is something that I think is like
Yeah, you reckon significantly helped with? Is that why he's getting divorced now? Okay.
like lack of grace
Okay.
on probably Brittany's side, which is like just like where I'm gonna extend grace to somebody. Like if somebody has autism, I'm gonna understand that whatever they say is exactly what they mean, and that's it. There's no implications that they're trying to do. Freya, thank you. And at the same time, if somebody has ADHD, when they're like not making eye contact, when they don't seem present, I'm just gonna give them the benefit of the doubt that they are. I just need to understand that there's like different things, especially when you're unmedicated ADHD. Sorry, Lycan.
Oh no, exactly.
He's married to Lycan now. Jesus Christ.
Spent time together. Like people made a different effort, which is fine. But like he does this thing where he wants to be looked at like he's good, like a good person, and everyone's a good person, my bro. But he also wants to be treated like he never does anything
Sorry, I'm just
wrong,
firing up the next piece
but
of content
pretends to
real
hold
quick.
himself accountable,
Getting the links loaded
which is
up.
like the slippery slope of the catch-22. Same with
Am
Melina,
I
by the way. She always
retarded?
plays-
Or have I?
Maybe.
Sorry,
Yes.
or have I never got the impression that Destiny is desperate?
Jojo, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. Kelly's beautiful and smart. I was
I think he's
joking.
a good person. Have I missed that? Is that
I
something
would say
he really
goes
cares about
actually
that
out of
much?
his way to think
Am
to
I
make people think
stupid?
he's like worse than he actually is.
He
Yeah,
doesn't go out
it's
of,
me then.
he doesn't go
Yeah,
out of
it's
his way to
just
correct the
me.
record. He doesn't go out of his way to correct the record, but he isn't unbothered by it from what
But
I've
he'll
seen.
also even like shit talk himself and make himself sound worse.
I would say like once you get like close to him, I think he wants people to see that he's a good person without him having to explain it because he's for the most part looking for that in other people. Like I think Steven often wants what he's giving to other people, and he's giving other people like high levels of grace and like high levels of benefit of the doubt. And I think it really like bothers him when he doesn't get it back. That's what I feel like Brittany's probably picking up on here, which can be really confusing for other people. Obviously, I don't know. I feel like it's stuck between a rock and a hard place in this type of conversation.
Yeah, maybe she sensed that and then interpreted it as he wants people to all think that he's a good person. Because I just feel like, yeah, that's just weird. I don't think, yeah, I don't know, strange.
plays the victim, but Melina's infamously known for having bad female relationships, bad commitment issues, and gossiping about her marriage all the time. So like toxic be toxic be toxic, and that's just what it is. Like this is just so human, and I'm just saying like hold yourself accountable. So you can change
It's
and be a
just
person
so
who doesn't have to
human.
have this as your reputation. But like it's your reputation because it is what it is, right? It is what it is. You play victim, you say everyone's being mean to you, blah,
I wish,
blah, blah,
yeah, I think he did. Forever. I'm pretty sure he said that. I feel like I've heard him say that. I won't say 100% sure, but I feel like I've heard him say that. Yeah.
This was like a game, and it's like, okay, we get to mute these phrases. You cannot speak with these phrases. Can you make your point?
Also, I don't even know where he's been a victim yet. It's almost like she's trying to write the script. I don't know. Nothing's happened yet. All he's done is like shit post in his chat bit. Like he hasn't done anything. He's not been like, oh my god, everyone, feel sorry for me. Like where?
I think it's tough because he's said things like Melina, like some of the things in his post is like definitely outlining Melina's bad behavior. It's just really tough because I see that as like a sign of growth for him. And so it really sucks. I think a lot of times what happens when people are like used to one way that you engage, which like Steven always just like calls himself the asshole and kind of like lets him take the fall. And I feel like he's been working hard on not just taking the fall all the time. And like, I've been like, you have lots of really good traits. You should like own those. Like those are, it's okay to be like, I'm good at these things. Like I'm like, you could just say you're generous. You're a super generous person. That's just true. Nobody would argue with you on that one. I think it's tough when people are trying to change the script about how they interpersonally engage with others. It's going to like people who don't know how to understand you are probably going to take that in like sometimes like the worst possible interpretation, which really sucks. It makes it really hard to do, I think, personal growth when you have like social eyes on you. I'm definitely not jealous of that.
Yeah, it seems like she's just kind of looking at everything and being like, what's the worst possible way I could interpret this thing? And I get it because she doesn't like him, and that's kind of a normal thing for people to do. But it just seems a bit like, ugh.
I don't know if this is the worst possible way at all. I think this is a fairly reasonable conclusion to come to. I don't know.
It's just tough. It's just tough because I feel like Steven is like a really, really good person. Like a lot of people think that the only reason I'm friends with him is because of like the personal benefits that I have. And that's actually in part why I never go on his stream, is because I'm worried that he and others will feel like the only reason I'm friends with him is because of what I can gain. But I just think he's a like deeply good person, even though he's a very flawed person as well. And he's a much better person than he gives himself credit for. And it makes me sad because he'll just like take other people talking like pretty horribly about him. And he's like, I mean, yeah, I have lots of flaws. And he'll just like own it. And I'm like, bro, if you were literally anybody else who's more shitty than you would be like demanding that people like see your side more. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. Obviously, he's like a good friend of mine, but I think Steven doesn't advocate for even how wonderful of a person he is. Like, I don't think most people realize how good of a person Steven is because he's got like such rough edges. I don't know. It just makes me sad.
Yeah, no, I agree. But good is such a weird word, right? Good invokes these sort of like pure moral. It's very rigid as a word, and I think he's a very interesting person, and he has great aspects to him. But good is such a weird word to use. I don't know. Maybe that's my brain dead way of looking at things.
Like when I say good, I guess it means a very specific thing to me, which is like a very rounded word. When I say good, I don't mean no flaws. I don't mean perfect. I mean there's lots of flaws, but there's like a striving and an intentionality to try to see like improvement there. And maybe he hasn't always been that way, but since I've been interacting, I see like this intentionality to try to take responsibility and like to try to self-improve. And like, goddamn, there's not a lot of people that are trying.
Yeah,
and I just really appreciate that about him and other people.
Yeah, I think it's just, I struggle because good is vague. If you're going to ask me, like, is Stephen kind?
Been the same guy for like however long he's been streaming. He hasn't changed at all.
I would actually say, yeah, in a lot of ways he is. Like, that's an easy one for me to define and like know what examples of that would look like as someone who behaves like that. But I think, and it's not you. It's like everyone does this, right? When they say this is a good person, this is a bad person, and me over here with my autism brain is like, I don't know what this means in a person. How does this look? I don't know. What is a good person? I'm confused. Yeah,
I'd say like he's not very nice. He's an asshole. He's got lots of flaws, but I do think he's good, like in a deep, well-rounded way.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. There's like that funny
well-rounded, healthy, stable genius
graph I saw where it's like people that are nice but are mean, and I think it was for like people from different states in America. So I think it was like LA and New York or whatever, and it's like people in New York are assholes, but they're also very nice underneath, and they're like the other way around. It's just interesting how people can embody like very different like behaviors and values from.
Dude, his wife is getting destroyed on Reddit, and he's doing nothing to stop it. Well, because that's what he wants, isn't it? Obviously. How many times do we have to watch this happen?
From the like outside and stuff. Anyway, I'm rambling. Continue.
Into your life in some capacity, right?
Oh, fuck me. There for a second. Guys, just so you know, we need a donut drive, okay? I need 10 subs to buy myself a mouse so it stops randomly double clicking.
Okay. Forever said, check some Reddit posts. So I checked this is the first Reddit post. This is the first one I saw when I opened Reddit. The first one. Guys. I'm sorry, Destiny. This sucks and I'm sorry you have to go through it. You put a lot of time and effort into making your marriage work. It's sad to see you get maligned by gossip, your partner is carelessly spread, or vultures from other communities swoop in to pick your wounds. I'm sure you're feeling pretty hurt and betrayed right now. If there's even a chance you could still salvage this, I think you should try. That probably sounds pretty unpalatable at the moment, but give it a day or two. It'd be such a waste to all that time you spent working on your marriage together being for nothing. Unless you truly believe you're happy without her, just give it a little more time. Holy fuck. Dude. This is fucking disgusting. This is so gross. Holy fuck. How many upvotes? 2. It's like I said, it's the newest post. It's the last post I saw. I think anyway. It was the first one on my list. Yeah, first post 27 minutes ago. Okay, yeah, people are saying this is retarded. I'm pretty sure admit it has contributed some to the downfall of the relationship, but the unapproved love such relationships, the crazy people he dealt with end up threatening his career, life, etc., etc. But it seemed like he was kind of on board till the considering leaving my SO for a job was broke dude who showers me with attention thing happened for the 3rd time. You don't work through that. I'm sure the 5-hour talk. Okay, yeah, but I mean, didn't this guy like just try to leave Melina for Lauren Southern like last year? That's rancid, bro. Jesus Christ. Alright. Well, let's go back to this.
Maximize videos out of nowhere, okay?
Please explain pre-abandonment. Pre-abandonment is basically where
my guy, a mice is like 10p.
Can I recommend a mouse if you're not dead set on the one?
you feel like everyone.
No, I'm gonna get an ergo mouse, like a vertical mouse, but
okay.
I don't play games, so it's fine. Anyway, sorry, I'll play the video. I apologize for begging. Okay, guys, I apologize.
Someone's gonna abandon you, and
that was out of
everyone's
pocket.
gonna leave you, and then you create a
that was good.
circumstance in which they have
You
no
deserve
choice
it.
but to leave you. So you'll pre-abandon them. you basically make it possible. You make it impossible for them to stay in your life. You make it impossible for them to actually bond with you. And then when they leave, you're like, ha, see, I knew it. You were going to leave me. Or you pre-abandon them like he did with me in a more extreme way, which is like any problem, any conflict, any small conflict that feels too close to the truth, burn the bridge, deny, block, pretend it never happened, or pretend I'm a crazy borderline girl who's obsessed.
That was not a small thing.
Who claimed I don't care if my wife cheats on me, only to play the victim now of I can't believe Melina did this to me. What did she do to you except what you gave her permission to do? Verbatim quote in response to my content, I don't care if my partner cheats on me. How dare you play the victim now? When I called you out for this shit months ago, when I told you this is what I feel like is a cope.
Do prep for this?
Saying you don't care.
Yeah, like this doesn't sound like anything of what happened at all.
I don't think
I'm
Brittany
so
does
fucking
prep,
confused.
Really?
Was this like a few hours ago or a few days ago? I'm so
like a few
confused.
hours ago. It was earlier today. Like I don't
How
even
does
say
she
that to,
know
like, shame
nothing?
her. She like kind of goes on vibes a lot of the time. Like a kind of a part of her stream identity, I think.
Brittany is in my chat, and she is trying to clarify.
Oh, God.
Just so you guys know what she was saying. She said, I do think Steven is good. I think most people are, for the record. I also think being good doesn't excuse bad behavior, but bad is by my values. You don't have to agree. They aren't objective.
Yeah. So vibes. Yeah, it's...
Does she want to come in, or is that too much content, Cloudy?
It's up to her. If she would like to come in, she can message me and I can send her an invitation.
Like, this is a good idea or a bad idea. I don't know. But I honestly, it's the way she's speaking, honestly, just sounds like
Come on, give us the
a whole
content.
chunk of information.
Come on.
So I'm really confused. Like, Destiny's not upset because he thinks Melina cheated. That's not a thing.
Baby Blasphemy donated $10.
I think it's complicated because Brittany and Steven are at odds, right? Like they've been like mutually hurt by one another. So you're also hearing the perspective. Like when you hear me talk, you're hearing somebody who's super close friends with Steven and almost exclusively has positive regard. And that means I'm going to be biased in some ways. And when you hear Brittany talk, you're going to probably hear some bias and like there's some negative sentiment, obviously.
Yeah,
I love Brittany and I love Steven, so it's tough. It's really
genuinely, it kind of sounds like she's missing information because I don't know how you would have got to that conclusion unless you knew everything. I didn't know everything, sorry. Because Destiny's not mad because he thinks Melina cheated on him. Like that gives me the impression she just doesn't know a bunch of stuff. Because that's not bad faith. That just feels like misinformation.
I can't speak to what she knows or doesn't know, obviously.
Yeah, I think she goes on vibes mostly for streams. I don't think she really researches. She might research a little bit on her own, but I think she also doesn't have like a lot of these people have communities, right? That send them links, that send them a bunch of shit. But yeah, if Brittany wants to join, we'll just finish this up. She can join whenever she wants. I'll move her in.
Care if your partner cheats on you.
I was gonna say she's listening right now. Like a TLDR could be like
realistically,
we just take TLDR, right?
Yeah,
so like Destiny's
is reading her. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like Destiny's not upset because he thinks Melina cheated on him. He's upset because the guy that she's with, she's spoken about her, like a few, like it's all over the internet now anyway. He's been very weird. Like she was speaking about TwitchCon, like how he's manipulative and I'm pretty sure threatened to kill himself and she was really upset and down at TwitchCon because she really liked this guy and I didn't think she would go back to him. So like I think I was super surprised that happened. And it's like regardless of what you think of like Destiny and Mel, like I think this Mel and this guy is also not great. So it's kind of just like you could be like sad and kind of like concerned for Mel, like separate also from their situation too, because like I am concerned. It's like I don't know how bad this guy is really, and I think like obviously even if you're in an open relationship, if the other person that they're seeing is like saying you need to like break up with this guy and divorce this guy or whatever, and then is like clearly a bit unstable, it's like all of those are the issues, right?
Well, I mean
that
one piece is a non-starter, right? Like you're going to talk, if you're going to in any way like work against our relationship, which takes priority over everything, then that's a non-starter.
Yeah, so it's not like Destiny's like, oh my god, I'm the victim because she cheated on me, because she didn't even cheat. Like this is just like a whole like way more complicated than that.
Yeah, sorry, just real quick, I just want to reiterate on top of that.
Yeah, but this obviously isn't the first wrong that's been committed in the relationship. These are obviously all things that build on each other, aren't they?
Brittany, if you do want to come on, like I'm hearing this from this video and I'm interpreting it how I want essentially and how I like with my brain. If you think I'm misrepresenting you in any way, you can come on and correct the record. Like I obviously, if you feel like anything I'm saying is incorrect, I'm perfectly happy to talk about it. Don't want to misconstrue something and then just roll with that as a narrative to however many people are watching. So.
She's open to coming on. I'm just kind of like letting her know who you guys are, which is like obviously going to be, it's like DGG after hours. So obviously it's going to be very pro Steven space. So I just want her to be aware of that like before she comes in.
She should remember me, right? I messaged her a couple times before, maybe.
She doesn't know who, I'm sorry, Justical. I don't know how to fucking say it.
Rude.
Jay?
Nobody.
You just say it how you feel.
Loser.
I like this dick. That was good.
Dick.
Which I didn't hear you liking. Sorry. What's
Lick, no, I said I like just dick. So you got licking and just dick.
Hey, you
Licking
say-
just dick.
Yeah,
I like the dick.
All good.
Okay, haha. Haha.
Sure. Right back. Kelly, you can move.
Yeah, it's
Never a dick.
He started.
You are
sad.
All this time.
the same height as.
444. I'm not.
Yeah.
No,
that
shut.
Is that's the content over? Nothing else going on there? What's Food Slop's been doing?
Entire.
I didn't make that
You know,
joke.
all of you shut up. All of you shut up.
What
If
big
you're gonna
deal is
cage it with
that?
there being some non-aggression, then sure. You're
No.
Oh, because SFO's on.
Even if I wanted to fight you, I can't. Must be true.
Okay, right. That's gay. And nobody care about that. What's Stardust doing? She's watching whatever podcasts and playing stimming videos. I'm struggling for content, guys. Struggling for content. Oh, we could watch Flower Gothic video. That's it. Fuck, that's it. Do not look at Fairy Queen stream.
In your ear.
Okay. All right. Oh, Brittany Simon's joining now.
Tiny.
Aw.
You're itty bitty. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
even
tower
though I've
over
been told
you.
I have tall girl energy on stream, so
You do. You do. I thought you were gonna be like 5'7", 5'8".
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! What the heck? I'm gonna tower over you when we inevitably.
I love it. I love when
eventually meet up.
people tower over me, so it works.
Okay, well that'll be me. Damn, 5'1". You're itty bitty. You're like Xena sized.
Yeah, it throws people off. It's really funny, actually. I think Steven and Abba both thought I was like very, very tall, and then they met me and they were like, "What is happening?" And I'm like, "I know."
Isn't that weird? How some people just give like short energy and some people give
Hey,
tall
can I
energy?
just
I must give short energy. Everyone
talk
just
about the
assumes I'm
divorce?
tiny.
That's all I care about.
I'm not small at all. I'm super average, but
Just to call you back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, okay.
I said hi to
What
Brittany.
did you say? You were back.
I said
Am
hi
I
to
just
Brittany.
deaf?
You probably
Oh,
thought I was
okay.
liking
My
her
bad.
something.
Okay, I'm just deaf. Ignore me. All
all
right.
right, you guys are being fake nice. All right, I'm the only one that was standing.
You guys like, sub, don't know if you can. Thank you very much.
Brittany here. So
I just get.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't say anything that bad.
I don't know how we want to go.
Yeah, they are. They're divorcing. Yeah. I've covered it extensively over the last 6 hours, so.
About this, but I could basically say we were
Fuck
watching
me.
your VOD from earlier today, Brittany, and to me it felt like this time, and probably the last time I heard you talk, that you implied that Destiny was faking going to a therapist, that it was probably a conversation with a friend, and then it seemed really pointed to me that you were basically pointing at Kyla and saying, that's the friend, and that's who's giving them, like, quote-unquote therapy. Now, I think you went out of your way to say Kyla wouldn't have called it therapy, but it just seemed like, yeah, trying to undermine the idea that they had a 5-hour therapy session or whether that was possible.
Yeah, I was for sure skeptical of it, but I clarified later in chat. Somebody told me that Steven clarified it on stream that it was a real therapist and it wasn't just a friend. And I even said I don't think Kyla would do that to her reputation. So I did get the clarification from people that he did go to a therapist. So it's just very unique. I've never heard of that, but obviously, like, I'm open to it being a thing someone does. So I did clarify in that same VOD later on that I was wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that
That's
help?
fair. We didn't finish watching it, to be
Haven't
fair.
finished it yet,
Did they, like, give you more details about what was actually happening? Like, because are we halfway through? Just to go? Where are we?
Yep. Yeah, we're halfway.
Because at the point where we're watching, you're kind of saying, like, Destiny's mad because he thinks, like, Mel cheated on him, but it's not that, right? Do you know that now? Or were you kind of like...
So we know it's not... cheating, like, in a way, but what I heard Steven say, which I thought was interesting, so I think I was just, I'd speak mostly to my audience, even though I know other people are watching, right? So I know it wasn't cheating in that sense. I understand the more details, but I think what I was trying to get at is when Steven says, I'm not the only one, like other people also hurt me. In my audience, we do not blame, we take accountability. So until I hear him stop blaming, until I hear Melina stop blaming, then I'm just summarizing that they're still doing the looping thing. Like I don't care about the details. What I care about is the fact that it's happening, which means the toxicity exists. Like healthy relationships don't have these moments at the rate they happen. So what I want to show my audience is like you can have a loving relationship that is about consent, and you don't have to have this much toxicity in it. But if it is toxic, you need to first hold yourself accountable for being in the relationship without pointing fingers at your partner. So for clarification, I know it wasn't literal cheating because they have an open relationship, right? And Steven has said he doesn't care if Melina cheats. But it's the fact that she went out of her way to do something he felt violated the relationship, i.e. emotional cheating or whatever you want to call it, right? A violation of some sort of sanctity that they had in place. So does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, so I don't know if it's even that exactly. And also, can I just like hypothesize? So say you have a decent relationship, it's not like necessarily perfect whilst it's like an open relationship, but that one of the people in it has a really unhealthy relationship with some...
Yeah, so you're saying Destiny could give Melina the Mr. Girl and Live treatment. That's already happening on the subreddit. They're already going on there. So, yeah, it's already over.
Somebody else. How does that factor into how you would then look at it instead?
Yeah, like you have a couple and one of the people in the party has a relationship, let's say with a sister or a friend or somebody, it's really toxic and it's impacting the marriage.
Yeah, I feel like that is more accurate to kind of what's going on.
Yeah. Well, I would say, again, you're not prioritizing your relationship because in every instance, you should always prioritize your relationship. Friends, family, kids come second. In my opinion, my values, my bubble. Like, okay, so like, don't mean to project that onto anyone else. And I would say to my audience, it's important for you to build the foundation of your marriage and then to help people, but not at the risk of your own relationship ever.
Yeah. So in that situation, Destiny isn't really doing anything wrong. And from my perspective as like Mel's friend too, I'm just a bit worried for her, to be honest. Like, yeah, like
the guy involved. Obviously, I'm worried for everyone. So look, honestly, and I know the internet doesn't believe me because they don't watch my content from beginning to end, and I'm a long-winded content creator. You can't watch me in 2-minute segments. I really am. My heart goes out to everyone involved anytime there's toxicity in a relationship. But obviously, when you have people who tend to gloat from a position of knowing, it's just like myself. It's very easy to point fingers at them, which I fully accept. I'm very arrogant. But
yeah, the white blood cell shit is just so true. Holy fuck. He didn't do anything wrong. He did nothing wrong in this situation. You don't know every detail of their relationship, I don't think. Like it's just such gunt guarding as well. Like it's so crazy.
I want there to be some sort of like people tend to baby Steven in a way that I've never seen anyone do on the internet. So I think I'm fascinated with it.
That's so true.
But
Holy
obviously,
fuck.
like they're grown-ups and they're making consistent mistakes, and it's okay to say like you're just wrong. Even if you're doing well and you're trying your hardest, like I'm rooting for Sneeko every day, but I also know like people make mistakes and they're messy. And I know like everyone is obviously mentally ill in this situation. And
is that on my Discord or theirs?
And I understand that's a big deal.
That's fucking Wolfgang.
So I want there to be a way. Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe there are some people babying him. If that's the case, that they're not the people I see. I see the memes getting upvoted to the top of the Reddit where everyone's just fucking flaming him. People are getting banned because they're making fun of him and they're not like holding.
Not for Melina though. Not for Melina.
The same thing as saying like, I want you to know like you're self-harming, and I can't do that, right? Like he burned the bridge with me, which is like fine, but I think that's also an indication of like something that's wrong. And again, I'm not reaching out to Steven as like, I want to help Steven. I'm helping my audience by curating content about a content creator that I knew slightly okay. Just because people tell me things about their life doesn't mean they're close to me. Remember, Steven and Melina don't ask about me. They never asked about my life or who I was. They only wanted to tell me about their life. So to me, I was never really like a close friend. I was just someone they told their problems to. So for me, in my perspective, they could basically be like a caller at this point. And I appreciate when we associated together, and I would call them a casual friend, but the way they painted even our friendship was so confusing to me because I didn't feel the same way. And they never, of course, we never had the conversation because we didn't have it. Like, you know? So I'm obviously just making content about a content creator that the world that I'm in knows. And I want the best for them, but I mean, I'm trying to treat them the same way that I would drag Sneeko or drag anybody else. I've even made content about ABBA, and I love ABBA. Nothing bad about ABBA. I have nothing bad to say about him. But you know what I mean? Like, I try to make it clear where my values are, and then where other people. But I know these are real people's lives. I know that. I'm just trying to say, like, considering the way DGG comes from me like all the time, I just like figured this is the internet, right? At some point,
I mean, I'm an insensitive idiot, so I say shit all the time that other people look at and they're like, what the fuck? And I also struggle to feel close to people, but the thing is, right, there are some things you can look at and be like, okay, so if they weren't at least kind of close, they wouldn't do that. Like, they wouldn't have invited you to their house and stuff like this. Like, you can kind of be like, oh, okay, I can see.
They had other people at their house that they don't consider close, so it's confusing to me. Like, I don't know what that means. A lot of people, I mean, you can have sex with someone, it doesn't mean you're close.
I also don't
know. No, that was just an
I
example,
don't think this
right?
super matters to like the conversation we're having about Brittany.
Yeah.
Like, my concern is more that I think Brittany's misrepresenting this situation entirely. Like you've said multiple times now in the past two VODs that
The new guy threatened to kill himself, allegedly. Yeah, that's the claim Destiny made.
Try to figure out why.
The last two VODs that I've seen, I've felt like you keep saying Destiny plays the victim. Destiny's playing the victim. When in the history of this relationship, like as far as I know, in the history of this relationship, Destiny has always let himself seem like the villain. He's always let people talk shit about how he acts.
Yeah, just same,
right?
He's
been protective of Melina. He's been more protective of Melina in the past year and a half.
You can't know. You can't know.
He's playing victim.
You can't.
I just want to know where he's playing victim, other than maybe this past day and a half.
And maybe we just define it different, right?
Yeah, sure. Just I want to know what your example is.
Yeah. So when you say things like everyone around me is crazy, all these girls are crazy, everyone around my life is crazy, I'm the only one who's sane. That's your way of separating yourself from everyone else. So anything bad that happens makes you look like the victim of someone who's crazy around you.
When does he imply that he's not also crazy? Like he's always basically.
I don't know if that's a serious question. I feel like I'm being trolled a little bit. Come on. This is Steven, who's known as, quote unquote, the logic bro, who literally paints a narrative that he's the only one who's reasonable and rational around all these crazy people all the time.
I disagree completely. I've never gotten that impression, and I'm a fan. I've watched like a lot of his stuff in the past 2 years.
Okay,
he openly jokes
to
about
be
how
fair, I don't
he
think
is
he
in
would
the
call
head
himself
for
crazy,
going through this.
Justical. I think
Maybe
he
not
would
crazy.
probably say like maybe the decisions
Broken,
like that he's made and things like this. He could criticize
in the
things, but I don't get crazy vibes from him, and I don't think he thinks he's crazy either. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have flaws, right? Or things that he
everybody has
right?
flaws, right? No one's perfect.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm surprised, like, considering his brand and the way that he tells his stories and the way that he like justifies everything. It's interesting that like no one can ever, again, like you're doing it now. You can't like criticize him for some reason, like in a real way, not in like a make excuses for him way. Just like, yeah, he's a person.
That's fair.
Well, I know that. I don't.
Can we let Lav speak? I think Lav might have something to say. Can we can Lav speak, please? Please.
I don't mean to mean like you, but I mean who has a V, because he gets to paint everyone else like they're just insane. Brittany's obsessed. She's BPD. Everyone's obsessed. They're BPD.
It's it, Lav.
But not taking into consideration like the way he treats people, the way he talks to them in private, the way he tells people things. Like it's fine. It's very messy. It's a human thing to do. But I'm just surprised that it's not obvious that he's a player in the game of the miscommunication. I'm sorry.
What's the specific claim right now about his fault?
I don't know. Well, the specific claim. Yeah, I'm a little confused. I'm just saying like Steven isn't perfect, and he has a tendency to paint everyone around him like they're the problem, and he really isn't. And that's like a narrative you can play with, but I don't know how you don't know that happens.
I disagree completely. I think he constantly talks about the mistakes he's made.
Okay.
I think where Steven
can I give my take?
falls flat is like
Yes, Lav, you can. Guys, please like, sub, dono for this late stream. Long stream for me. Thank you.
No slurs, Lav, right, mate?
When he's like blind to his own flaws, I think he's really blind to it. I think what's unique about him as well is that like he's pretty open to hearing his flaws. He just needs to like hear it in the right way, which to be honest feels deeply, deeply human. I don't see him as painting himself as like just the victim in this situation, because
his problem is that he's too accountable, right, Kyla? He's so charitable He's too accountable.
Loud.
Okay, wait,
Don't derail completely.
That was that voice.
Okay.
Wait, look,
Is that what I sound like?
I'm on a panel with you
triggered.
later, but you
Lav
are on my
one,
shit list
Lav
too
one.
because you make false
Lav
accusations
one.
against people. So like, I'm
Lav
not very
one.
excited about dealing with you either, miss. Like, I do not make false accusations and I do not
Jesus
lie,
Christ. You
right?
are-
Like, that is the one thing I will not do. I've never lied
There was
about
a
Destiny.
smear campaign against you. There was a smear campaign against you, just as there was one against me.
Okay,
If
but
I was
I'm going off
actually
what
a
you
false-
literally did. So
No,
I'm
Brittany,
judging you on
if
your
I was
actions.
a false
just like I'm judging-
allegizer, I would not
Oh,
be in
man.
this fucking space. I'd be
I'm not
so
judging you
ashamed and
on the
embarrassed.
smear campaign. I'm judging you on your own actions, just like I'm not judging
You don't
anyone
know.
else on any smear campaign.
Okay, I'm not even. This isn't about me. I'd love for this to be about me, but it's not about me.
Maybe wait.
Bro, this is fucking wild.
What I was going to say is that I think
Holy
that
fuck.
Steven actually does take accountability. I think that he does. I think he's actually very hard on himself. But I think that he surrounds himself with yes men. His audience of adoration and people like Kyla who are like, no, you're just too good. You're too good.
Oh,
And
she's spitting, she's cooking. She's cooking. She's cooking.
so he gets sort of confused in this world where he like does actually want to take accountability. I've had private calls with him in the recent weeks, and they are so different than when he is around other people or when he's in front of an audience.
Ooh,
Okay, but Kyla's just very nice, right? But who else is like Kyla? Like, Destiny has banned me and Justical for just shit talking.
His whole audience. I mean, his whole
like, he's
audience.
not nice. Like, yeah.
No,
we
no, no,
deserved it, by the way.
Hold on.
You got banned yesterday, bro.
No, no, no.
You were trolling.
Shut up, Kelly, for 2 seconds. Holy fuck.
Bitch.
Destiny added me
Bitch.
to his permissions list, and he has me in his community specifically because I'm not a yes man. Specifically because I talk shit about him, and I talk shit about a bunch of his
That's what I'm saying, innit?
That's literally my
Yeah, I'm not,
purpose.
wait, hold on. I'm not saying that he's curated himself. I'm not saying that he's curated it. I'm saying that there are people around him who enable his behavior. I'm not saying that they're all here. One of them is certainly Kyla. I don't know if any of
That's facts.
you guys
That's
are
facts.
also.
That's so facts. Holy fuck.
So I
I'm
apologize
just
to
saying
Kelly.
that
I
he
misunderstood her.
definitely
She was saying the same
definitely
thing I
has
did.
some around him.
Everyone always does misunderstand me.
We're
It's
okay,
alright.
God, Erudite is the worst, bro.
We're okay.
Yeah,
It's always
true.
the case.
It's true. I'm just so nice and enabling. That's definitely what I'm known for. You've got me pegged.
I mean, even if
Yeah, I think I
if
did.
we're gonna
At least he didn't end up in jail. Apparently, that's
even if we're
my
gonna paint
fault.
the case that that's the case with Destiny, that he surrounds himself with people that he likes. Even on this call right now, there are people that he's given a spotlight to, and I think most of the people that criticize him have the friendlies outnumbered, right? He let me talk to him because I wanted to yell at him about how shitty his media takes were.
Yeah, look at it.
just
I'm
those
not saying that he curates the people around him to be yes men. I'm saying that there are people around him through whatever reason, through clout reasons or through just wanting his friendship or through whatever, who do enable him. I don't think it's him doing it purposely. Let me repeat.
No, I understand that part, but ultimately, I still feel like the yes men would have such a small influence compared to the amount of people that are around them that constantly tell him to like, "Hey,
I
you're
don't know.
fucking
I'm
up."
pretty powerful, Wolfgang.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like if even I don't know what influence these yes people have, but you have to be claiming that their force on him are so powerful that it outweighs the vast number.
This guy's Wolfgang. He's just some retarded DGG artist guy. He's really fucking annoyed. Yeah.
Numbers of people that keep, I don't know, DMing him, telling him that he's fucking wrong or something like that, you know?
Yes, Lav said she's been on private calls with Destiny the last few weeks. Correct.
I'm really powerful, Wolfgang. You don't understand how powerful my enabling is.
Jesus. We got
Tyler, I think like, when you get on here, when you get on here, and when you're like, he's a doormat. He just lets people walk all over him, and he's like sending his community to like harass Brittany for months. You sound so stupid.
Hold on.
When has he ever sent some? Yeah, hold on. When has he sent someone? If
we're Lav cells, it's over. We're Lav cells. It's done.
If the community goes and does something of their own volition, come the fuck on. If he
Spit Queen, spit sister, yes, sister Lav, spit sister Lav.
talks about you and they go do that, that's one thing. But don't say he sends the community.
I think, like, okay, if we're going to be really honest about this, every content creator has a different relationship with their audience. And I do think that Destiny's default, like, I would consider him like a pretty, like, he's the nicest toxic streamer I've ever dealt with. He's very nice, and it's very nice to be in his good graces. But also, like, his community, parts of it, obviously just parts, can be vile, right? And I think if I was anyone else, it would have been a lot harder to handle it. But, you know, honestly, I'm old at this point, and it's okay. But it isn't okay in my, like, my audience would never do this, right? My audience is like They would just never do that because I think I set a standard that says don't do this. I don't think Steven does, but I can, like, it doesn't matter. I'm not asking him to change. I'm not asking DGG to change. I don't need to, but obviously even my audience notices when Steven's watched a video of mine because my chat becomes instantly toxic, right? Instantly. Even other streamers have said, like, Brittany's chat is so nice while our chats are so mean to her. It's because, like, I think I set a standard. And I
Brittany,
think I'm
do you
proud
not
of
think that has
standard.
anything to do with shit like you talking about his son, his parenting, his physical attractiveness? Like, you don't think it has anything to do with you making those comments and him replying? Do you think he brings you up out of the blue?
Yeah, so I mean, this is the like nicest way possible. I think there's a huge misunderstanding of like what we're all doing in this space. I'm a content creator.
You don't think I'm
He is
posed up?
content. We are content. He's made multiple videos about me using thumbnails, putting my face there.
What part
I didn't
of
do that
his
for-
content
Well,
required
listen.
you commenting on his son or his parenting?
To be fair, that's all.
Well, again, I do comment on people's parenting. I comment on the Kardashians' parenting. I comment on anyone's parenting. Andrew Tate's
There's a
parenting.
huge difference between
No, there's
commenting
not.
on
To
the
me-
parenting of the
so to me,
Kardashians
there's
versus
not.
him.
So that's it. To me, there absolutely isn't. Either we are content creators and he uses his family as reasons to prove he's a father when he goes to valuetainment and all these things. And either I can comment him as a content creator or like, I don't know what you're all doing in this space, but I'm here to work and make content and I observe people for content.
So you should be a little less frivolous with your moral judgments of people when you're saying, I'm literally going to milk someone's family for content.
I'm not milking his family any more than he's milking his own family to make a stance when he's on valuetainment and he says, I'm a
That's facts. That's just facts.
father. I'm involved in my kid's life.
There's a
that's funny.
huge difference between someone who was at one point a friend of yours and going after his
So
son
that's the
and
problem.
talking about
There-
a
I
public
don't know
figure
why you
as
guys
big as the
think-
Kardashians.
Again, I don't know why everyone has this illusion. He never had my phone number. We've talked 5 hours in private. I saw him once in my whole life. I'm so sorry. I don't know what is inappropriately happening with the internet, but
She is just spitting. What the? Brittany is on a roll.
we were like internet friends, but we never even had the chance. If he was my friend, he wouldn't have burned the bridge without talking to me. We were never close enough for him to even give me that. So I think it's really inappropriate that people keep saying because he was my friend. Yes, some streamers I was very close to. I respect them. I don't make content about them. Steven and I never got the chance to be very close friends. And so we never built that rapport. We never built anything. We never had time. So I need you guys to really understand. I appreciate that you guys think I was very close to him. He told me things about his life. He never asked about mine. He's never met my siblings, never knows my family, doesn't know anything about my personal life. You know what I mean? So I just don't know what you're qualifying as a friend here.
I think if we had asked this question at a happier time when you were coming on the stream a few times a week and chatting and having really personal conversations, I think you would have had a different perspective on this.
Well, yeah,
well,
not
I just
that.
disagree. I think I've been on the internet for all of my 20s and all of my adulthood. I've had this happen with other YouTubers, and usually it's like we have good relationships. We don't talk about each other because we had friendships, and then that's it. We grew up, we separated. I don't make content about those people because we had actual friendships. I know my own boundaries. I'm saying Steven has misrepresented our friendship to make me look crazy, and I'm saying you're falling for it. We were never that close, and that's the problem.
I think
Brittany just spitting.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, bro,
Lycan's
you're in
getting
there.
destroyed here.
Yeah, Lycan's absolutely getting raped, bro.
Care
it's
about
fine.
your private communications
Just
with
to
him.
call
If
it
I
just
was Brittany,
like a chill.
I would say you
Let
cook
me-
for him. Get his dick out your mouth.
True.
Let me make
Just to
content. I'm just a
stop.
content
I
creator.
remember
What's
like
your
an
problem?
hour-long conversation you had with him about
stop.
relationship expectations and when to settle when you're getting older. That's a personal conversation. You had it with him on
I'm
stream.
so that's my
Jessica,
content.
stop
That's-
fighting
I
her on
just
this, okay? It's okay for her to
That's
not
what
feel
my
close to
content
him.
is, though. That my content isn't. I don't understand. Like maybe I'm just on a different part of YouTube altogether. But like this is content, right? Like you make content about your life. That's what I do, and then I show my audience like where I've been and where I've come and where I've gone. So I think you guys are not seeing me, and you keep thinking I'm someone I'm not, and maybe you don't watch enough of my content. But I have no idea why you guys are putting me in this box. When
I
want to
ask a question about the bridge burning part, though, right? Because what I remember is, because I messaged you when it was all happening, and I was like, he's pretty sad. Like, can you try and talk to him? And this was before he had blocked you as well, by the way. But you were like, no, he can come and talk to me. But the thing is, it had been you making the comments initially. So if it was me, and since I'm a loudmouth who is an idiot as well, I'm not saying you're an idiot, but whatever, who says stupid shit occasionally that does upset other people, it should be really on me normally to like reach out to that person and be like, yeah, I kind of fucked up, or I didn't mean it that way, or I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, or any of these other things, right? But I don't think you tried either. I think both of you were stubborn. Am I stupid in thinking that?
No, I totally. So I remember that day very clearly. I was completely floored and very shocked. And I already talked to my stream about this like months later. I do freeze in like real life moment conflicts because I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah, so yeah, where's this message? Try and talk to him like he's a kid. Like they're just proving Lav right that he is like infantilized so hard by these people, like, especially Erudite. It's just insane.
Like what? I don't know
It's
what's
just
going
coddled.
on. He never DM'd me. He never messaged me privately. I never messaged him. By the time I even got enough of like a breather to message him, I was blocked. So of course I didn't reach out, but if I've already told him if he would unblock me, I would message him, but I can't break his consent in that way. And like we weren't close enough for me to like ask someone to do it instead. Like if he doesn't want to be friends, that's absolutely okay. But it feels like there's like a huge misunderstanding. To me, I was making my normal content. I've been like even before I contacted Destiny, I've made statements that are very similar. So everyone in my audience was very confused about why everyone was shocked, but it's because nobody watches my content. You guys just watch clips, and I stream a long time, so I get it. I'm not criticizing you for that. But I make a lot of consistent points in very long-winded ways. So I was shocked that day, like so shocked. I had no clue what was going on. Even my little brothers were like, yo, what's happening? Because they all watch everybody. And they're like, what's going on? I was like, I have no clue, bro. I'm so confused about why everyone's mad at me right now. Maybe it's just my neurodivergency, but genuinely, I still think to this day, something else was going on and I got blamed for it because it just doesn't make any sense.
I don't
Like, I
think so,
say the
but
things
what
I
I would
normally
say
say.
is you don't have
Well,
to
why
be
is he-
close to, because there are other people that we all knew. Like, no, I'm not really close to anyone, but if someone said, oh, hey, could you maybe like facilitate some type of a, like a talk, like after everyone had like chilled out a bit, like I could have even helped. I'm not the best person, but like I'm sure
I don't do
Erudite,
that. No offense.
Erudite
Like, I'm
would have
an
been better.
adult. I don't,
even.
no. Like, unless it's content, we have to have private conversations to discuss. Because look, you have to remember,
Yeah, it could still have been private. I could have just helped pass those messages on. Like you had
Well, I
enough
think
like
that's
mutual
consent
friends where we
violation,
could
right?
like
He, like-
figure. Is that?
Why are they acting like she has any obligation to like super try
Yeah, I
and
don't
amend this
know.
relationship?
Okay, it just feels weird.
It's like super. Well, can't you just be nice to Destiny? Can you just try and stay?
It's like
friends with
she's Darth
Destiny?
Vader, and it's like, I see the light in you, Brittany. Come back.
Yeah, it's
Come back.
It's so weird.
It's your son,
he blocked me
Brittany.
by the time, so it's a consent violation to go
Brittany.
around him, right? Like Max making a fake account to message me, it's a consent violation. Don't do that.
Maybe.
No, like
Based.
in
true
my
about
values,
Max.
absolutely. Like just
Erudite, do you have a
absolutely.
fault on this? Like, am I being dumb? Like,
I think it's fine
Yes,
to do it.
you
I
are.
don't do
where's
that.
Erudite? I don't know. I'm
here.
part of this because
I
Erudite was there.
Erudite, bail me out. Say something about psychology, please. Erudite.
There at the same time. So, like, do you remember you, me, and also Mel came on a bit after we were speaking about when it happened?
Mel, who?
It was the
Talk
same
about
day.
boundaries and stuff like that.
Ex-wife?
I don't know anyone called Mel.
I think it's tricky. I'm curious, Brittany, if you would agree with this. I think the way that Steven views friendship and the way that maybe like you and probably I view friendship is a little bit different, right? Like Steven kind of grew up, he's been on the internet for 13 years. I think he's had a lot of like these very,
Ellie throwing out Erudite like
transactional
Maharaga
relationships.
right now.
So if he gives you even like 5 hours of time,
Save me,
that
save
for him
me,
is actually,
save me.
I think, a really big deal. Whereas for somebody maybe like me and you, that would be like more like if I gave somebody 5 hours of private time, I wouldn't consider them like a super, super close friend necessarily for me. But I recognize that. Have you ever like met people? I feel like you probably have this experience a lot where they talk with you once and they're like, oh my gosh, I've never had a conversation like this.
Yeah, of
You're like
course.
yeah, it feels a little bit
What a
similar to
pathetic
that in
little
that,
freak. What they doing
like,
like
those
that?
like really surface, shallow
Not my
relationships. And I'm not sure
streamer.
that that's all of Steven's relationships, but I think because he has so little time that like when he does give you time, he in his hand, he's like, that's a really
He's just like a little baby, Kenny. He's just like a little baby.
big deal. Even though for somebody like me, for
This
example,
is your
you,
man's.
that's not
This is your
as
man's we're
big.
talking about.
100%.
I'm willing to give 5 hours of my time to a
If
stream.
Melina gets like
It's like I'm just
like destroyed, he's #1 permanent streamer ever. No one's gonna like break the rankings.
And so I think like when you're talking about
like months ago, I said I watched Destiny because he's crazy. People just don't believe me.
Oh, I believe you. I believe you. I believe you.
friendship,
Danny
there's
seems
this
long
disparity
hours.
in that like I think both of you are right in that like he felt like you guys were close. And I also understand why you say, I didn't feel like we were close. And so I think there's this toughness where I'm like, I actually understand him feeling like hurt and kind of like shut out by you. And I also understand why you feel like you weren't close. Like I understand both of your guys' perspective. It's just kind of a different way in that you view relationship.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that. Actually, like when I was in Miami, I explicitly asked like, who wants one-on-one time with me so we can get to know each other more? Melina said yes, Abba said yes, and Destiny said only if you want to. So I took that as a no. So I said, okay, no problem. And then we didn't hang out one-on-one, right?
Which is tough because for him,
this
that's
is
a
so
yes.
crazy.
He just doesn't want to like take up the time. Because for him,
Autistic freak.
Yes.
giving any amount of time is a really big deal. So if you want to give him that time, he's willing to take it, but he feels really like I deal with that dynamic a lot too, where he's like, I'm
He's like a retarded child, guys. That's what you have to understand. He's like a completely retarded child. You just have to baby him every step of the way.
really sorry for taking
Only
up
if
your
you
time.
want
And I'm
to.
like, bro, you're my friend. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
It's totally fine.
So I'm gonna be real with you. I think like this is gonna sound really harsh.
Yo, come on.
I think I'm already blessed with so many friends and responsibilities to those friends. I can't really make more of an effort for a new friend like that unless it's going to be sort of like met in the middle. So I flew to Miami. I was physically there. I brought myself to their area so they didn't have to come see me. And I tried my best to communicate, but it's okay. I just took it as I just want to be work friends. Like, great, no problem. Like, that's perfect. And it is a miscommunication, but that's what I'm saying. I'm even more confused at everything happening. And I just can't help but feel like it was misplaced anger at me.
Yo, where's
like,
Lycan's energy
I didn't
go?
do anything different than what I normally do, which means he either didn't see me at all,
He's
never
not there to
watched my
take the
streams,
reins.
never engaged with my content,
Realized he was
only saw
jobbing.
me as someone he could tell his like personal things to and vent to. You know what I mean? Like it just feels like
I think it's
am
almost the opposite. Sorry to
sure.
interrupt, but
No, go
when
ahead, go
I
ahead.
see your guys' dynamic, I see it almost as the opposite of like, I think he understood to some degree. I could be wrong. I'm maybe giving too much of the benefit of the doubt, but there's also an element where I feel like maybe you didn't understand how much him giving 5 hours or like him spending time with you actually meant. Like the fact that when he said only if you want to, you misunderstood that to say no. Whereas like now that I know Stephen really well, that's a yes. He just doesn't want to impose, right?
Totally.
It feels like almost like you guys were definitely missing each other, and like maybe you weren't seeing him, which I think is fair. Like when
Yes.
people shield themselves from others, it's hard to.
Well, I think Pilot.
Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships forever. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
This is the big mistake. How do I say this?
Okay, let's go for a minute.
Darius joined. He's definitely where he left. Demon stream takeover. Kenny stream. It's over.
Thank you. Thank you. I need to turn it down. I need to turn this shit down. I thought I had it down low enough. It's still not low enough.
I can't make an effort for somebody. Like I don't want to make that effort. Is that okay?
I get that. Yeah,
right.
I get
Like
that.
I don't
if
want
you
to
have
make that
to do
effort.
extra work.
I just
you have to
really
do
want
that
to
extra work
ask.
to like mentally figure
Right.
it out. I get that.
Okay. I would love a good relationship, but I just don't want to make that effort.
Yeah, but it's super fair for the other person who needs that effort, but maybe doesn't realize
I just
it
can't read
to
minds.
feel
So
hurt.
it feels yes, but like I can't know he's hurt. Like I can't read his mind. So I don't
Well,
like
the
friends
block
that
was a
make me read their
clear
mind.
indication that he was hurt, right?
But then so then I assume he was obviously hurt by me. Then people are like, "You're crazy, Brittany. He doesn't care about you." And then I'm like, "Okay, so should I assume I know Steven or I don't know Steven?" Because like I think he's hurt, but I think I don't have time for people who can't tell me they're hurt. So I like write them off because they're adults, right? Like I can't engage with that kind of behavior. I already have too many people I take care of, right? He can't be a new person I take care of. But that is what he's asking for in a way, right?
So
Sorry,
I
you the
really
one
have to jump in here, like, and I'm sorry, I just really have to jump in before we switch topics. I don't understand how you differentiate this
I'm
from
so
just
sorry.
ego,
Wait.
Brittany.
I pulled out my earphones like a boomer. Hold
Sure.
on.
No,
Okay,
no
I'm so
problem.
sorry. Ask again.
I don't know how you
Stop
differentiate
asking the
this
worst
from ego
question.
because I see this as the same problem when Destiny says, "Oh, like if you want to." I have an ego, so I know I would hear that as like my time's more important than yours. So, you know, if you really wanted to, we could do it. That's how I would hear it. So I feel like that sounds like ego, and that jives to me with my image of you, where you really freaked out when he basically discounted your opinions on trauma, because there was another place you thought you feel you're an expert, and it seems like
I'm
it's
not
ego,
an
like
expert.
where egos had butted there. Well, you
Yeah.
felt like you were more of an expert than him, and that he was discounting your opinion. So I'm calling it ego. I don't really care about the term. I'm just saying,
sure.
It seems to me like you felt slighted in both of those cases, and those are the cases where your relationship fell apart. When really either of you probably could have done any amount of work to make it work from that point.
Well, I disagree, because after the grape conversation, we actually had a great DM conversation where we absolutely had a actual talking out of our friendship in a way that said, hey, I just want online friends that I have really good communication with and can disagree with. He said, totally, absolutely. We had a good, like, really quick conversation about work. And I said, I really would like to just be able to disagree with you. And I'm sorry that I overreacted. I apologized to him. We, like, moved on. So in my head, that was like we moved on from that. Then I had a normal stream where I talked normal shit like I normally do, because I'm observing people's lives. Like, I tear apart people's lives for a living. People tear apart mine. I think it's I think it's what it is, especially if we can have the conversation, right? Like, I think it's fine. I did that to FD Signifier, and he showed up on my stream anyways. Like, I love it when people let me talk about them and then they still show up to talk to me.
Oh, Darius, let's go. Okay, now it really starts. Now this is where the real content comes. Okay, let's go.
Appreciate that, like, energy.
There's
But
no way
I
they
think
allowed
that
to
for
speak.
me, that was settled. I'm sorry?
I said this is a stacked cast. Sorry.
Yeah,
Well-
he just wants to listen.
Well,
'Cause he can't,
Darius
he can't
starts
hear us.
spurging and,
Let's go.
Yeah.
He
Like,
literally
do you have
said
a
if he
question?
spurgs, kick him.
Oh, nice.
Sorry, but Brittany, okay, before you continue with the story, I just want to tell you, after that first
Darius is just anti-Melina. Okay, that's all Darius is.
conversation, when you guys apparently had this great conversation, that was one of the first times I DM'd Destiny, and I said if he ever talked about this subject with you again, you guys wouldn't be friends anymore. And then he talked to you
Yeah,
about
that's a
it
weird
again.
take. I talk about it a lot. I've been on
Well,
the internet talking
No,
about
it's
it.
not a
I
weird
just
take
had
when I
one
can
bad
see
day.
how you reacted to
Yeah.
him dismissing your opinion.
Right. Because, well, to be honest with you, I was upset, and he knows I was triggered, and that was my fault 1000%. He's not accountable for that. I'm accountable for that. That was my bad. Right? Like, I shouldn't have gone on stream. That was 1000% my fault for not, like, catching myself fast enough in relation to my PTSD. And that's why I DM'd him. We talked about it. As far as I was concerned, I thought we were good. I think we were good. I still consider that settled. But I've had that conversation 1,000 times with people on stream. I've had it with my friends and family. It's not a conversation that normally bothers me. It was just a special day.
Okay.
I think at absolute worst, Brittany has just been like mean. And like that is like everyone is mean to each other here. And so for you guys to like for you guys to be like weird and like single her out and be like, this is the Brittany trial, is it fucking insane, and it's like a testament to how
Myron tweeted being like, "Oh, I respect Destiny, but I always said this would happen." So I don't think they're mocking it necessarily. Also, I just missed that. What did they say? We'll see.
absolute worst, Brittany.
Not a conversation that normally bothers me. It was just a special day.
Okay.
I think at absolute worst, Brittany has just been like mean. And like that is like everyone is mean to each other here. And so for you guys to like for you guys to be like weird and like single her out and be like, this is the Brittany trial, is it fucking insane, and it's like a testament
She's
to how
on
you
here
guys
because we were watching her video and we were reacting to it and we were talking about
Live just fucking cooked. Holy shit! What the fuck?
But why are you reacting to it? Because you know that the whole narrative is Brittany's going to say something crazy about Steven, which
To
is
be
like
fair,
probably not even true.
until she comes on and talks about some things, and there's still a lot we haven't got to. There were some things being said that are absolutely worth digging into.
Yeah, and remember, like, I don't know how you guys do streams, but just like Steven says, he has like 15 hours or 100 hours of streams. Like, I really do appreciate people who consume me in whole. I think I'm better that way. But I understand that parts of me sound like very salacious and I'm clickable and like I'm very like, I understand that. So like have your opinions, make your content. I respect the hustle. And also like, I understand I'm going to be misunderstood and I appreciate you guys letting me come on. And P.S. it is 6:15 here and I have a government appointment I have to go to soon. So I've got about like 15 more minutes and then I got to head out.
Okay, guys. What do we need to know?
Yeah, I
We got
mean,
15 minutes.
I don't think that this is like the Brittany trial by any means, but we were watching her content, so it's worth her like coming in. Obviously, I feel like I was standing Brittany decently well, but
Yeah, we did explicitly say, like, I said I don't want to misconstrue. Like, I can watch
Just
the
like
VOD
says
and
in my
judge.
DMs, this is the judging.
I
of
just didn't
Brittany.
want you to cut in. Shut up.
You literally said this is the judging of Brittany.
J-Stock 1. J-Stock 1.
Made it about
Yeah,
yourself like you always
content.
do, which I appreciate a lot of the time, but this isn't
You
one of those
literally
times.
message me
He's got 42 years. His first day on YouTube. Not fucking bad.
every night telling me to come on. So
I just
shut
said I
the fuck
appreciate
up.
it a lot of the time. That's not one of
He's
the
got
times.
12. He's got 1300 on Kick right now as well. Jesus.
Yeah, right.
This is why. Yeah.
if there's any content milker here, it's
Jeez. All right. Nice.
I mean, there are some things that sounded pretty wild that clarify. I don't know if you can clarify some of the things that I at least
Why is this
had
guy still
questions about
talking?
with 15 minutes left. But fuck, they're like the thing about Destiny. Well, I want to say your exact words right, but I don't have the VOD fresh in my head.
Sure.
Choosing to prioritize Lav and Mr. Girl over his family. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like again. Clarification would be like I hear that and that sounds wild to me. So
When
that's
we
kind of
were,
what it-
did you watch us hang out in Miami?
Partly. I saw the slap and like some of the apartment hangout. That was
Okay, so
most of what I saw.
that was in reference to when Abba and I were with Destiny and Melina, and he said that he could see himself technically prioritizing Lav and Mr. Girl, I think mostly out of his desire for a choice and not being like trapped by Melina in the marriage. And I said, so you're willing to
Jesus.
choose them over your wife, basically. And he was like, yeah, maybe. And that's what that was in reference to.
Yikes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely in
actually
reference to
done.
like, hey, if you're gonna give me the ultimatum of like I have to control who I hang out with,
He's not
or you're
defending
gonna
this,
leave me,
right?
I'm not accepting that ultimatum. Which I
Right,
think
but he also said it
basically
was
all
for
of
like
us here and
people that are
anyone healthy would
interesting,
accept.
right? Yeah,
It's
I think
not
that's
about
the
them
problem.
being
So
interesting. It's about the ultimatum. That if you're giving
Right,
me an
but
ultimatum
it's-
on who I can hang out with, that's not acceptable.
Well, I disagree because again, when Steven talks, he wants the thrill. Like what he said with me on stream, he said like something I love about toxic relationships is kind of like that adrenaline rush. Like you're fighting and then you're having sex, right? Like he has a pattern. I think Steven's been really honest about
One
those
ill
patterns.
motherfucker.
I just think people deny them for some reason. Like they don't trust him to speak for himself. And I understand that.
Because he's just a retarded little baby, guys. You just have to take care of him. He's just a retarded child, guys, okay? Just a
Like
little
he doesn't know which
baby.
toy to play. He doesn't know which toy to pick.
He doesn't know.
One's so boring.
Does he
So
wanna play
one's
with
boring, and the two are.
The pedophile toy or the Barbie? He can't decide.
Because even I'm like, I don't know if I believe that's not cope. But like, I understand we're human. We're all going to like say things we don't
So
exactly mean. So for me, when I'm there, okay, this is the impression I got. It's the impression Abba got. It's the impression we got in the room. I don't think I'm taking him out of context when I'm like, okay, so just to clarify, this is your relationship. And then on top of that, obviously, like you might know some things behind closed doors and it just solidifies again, like, okay, like this is the kind of person I'm dealing with. And it's like a well-intentioned person, but like the road to hell is paved in those good intentions. And so from my channel and
Bro, what am I hearing in the background for the past hour? Britain Lab cooking and the Orbiter Avengers running damage control. Yep. Spot on. Yep.
my viewers, I make content, right? I make content for people who want to sort of like reach for something different. And I understand that I'm tackling a community that feels like, oh my gosh, like who is this Brittany girl? Honestly, I'm a visitor, obviously, right? But I also enjoy a lot of the people here, and I enjoy making content about the people here because we all seem to make content about each other, which is kind of nice. You know, it's kind of like a good way to look at this right now. This is going to be so helpful to my audience, right? They're going to like see us
It's gonna be
talking,
great.
and this is really great.
It is great. I just have one more quick question before we get off of this topic, and that's so how did you cover his clear transition to saying, oh, that was a huge mistake, and now I'm changing. I'm not going to have those people in my life anymore. We're not going to make content with them. How did you handle covering that?
Well, I actually did it with tomfoolery, which I thought was a really good conversation, right?
Tomfoolery?
Tomfoolery?
I'm sorry?
Tomfoolery is everywhere. That's just so cool.
Yeah. When I think about change versus transformation,
Oh no, Jason should have
my
pounced on
God.
that. He should have pounced on that. Fuck.
and I think about how we
Yo,
go about doing
Adam,
things.
play the
So
okay,
you can, as the drug addict, let's say, throw all the drugs out, but if you just keep them in a place you can find them again, you're not really like throwing
He's watching
them
this
away,
now.
right?
He's watching this now, but he's watching Erudite's perspective. Oh my god. He will not give J-Stock the credit.
So you're not transforming, you're changing. And I want a transformation. And people actually did a podcast about this. It was fire. But it's like, for me, the
Look at it,
difference is
J-Stock in
changing
chat. Good
into a
one,
person
Kelly.
that doesn't even know why I even wanted those those things in the first place. And it's a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. It could take months, years, days. Everyone's different. So when I covered it, I think I had a really good conversation with Tom about it and a really good podcast after.
That was like basically congratulating him on cutting those elements out of his life?
Yes.
No, because again, like, I'm not like, I'm all about the baby steps, of course. Like, but I wish he had done it with more like compassion. Like the way he treated Cherry, I thought was really uncompassionate. But like, you know, you do you. Like people sometimes just block people
This is
out.
so
They like
wild.
black and white it. It's fine.
52,
like everyone's on a
52.
journey.
Yeah,
I feel like that's not a good indication, right? I just think cutting people out and like is probably a coping mechanism of like not wanting to be hurt again, more than a thoughtful.
So when does Lab take her next victory lap
like,
against
hey,
Cherry?
I'm moving on with my
So
life.
true.
I would like to end this like interaction, and I would like to do something better with it. And thank you for your time. Something like, you know, there's a
To
difference.
be fair,
yeah,
I feel like he's really good at like allowing the people to come back. I mean, Lab is back. I mean, if Lab can come back,
right. I
anyone
see
can
that as
fucking
sort of
come
the red
back,
flag,
right?
though, right? Like Lav shouldn't be back in his life. That's a huge red
Lav's
flag.
not back
Well,
in his life
maybe.
in any way.
I'm not
Lav
gonna
hangs
make
out
it a
on my
judgment call
stream.
on that.
But she just said they've been having private calls over the last few weeks. That sounds like cap.
Lav was on
But
Kicker
the point
Keep
is,
once.
like,
Lav
he
has never
has.
been on his stream.
He's reconnected with a bunch of people before,
Lav can
right?
speak
Like
for
again,
himself.
guys, I don't want to think.
J-Stock just got owned. Holy fuck, castrated in real time. Oh no.